angle today, which I actually like this angle. This is a good angle. You know, they don't lie when they tell you that this is a good angle on YouTube. I'm out of breath. I've been like running around and stuff. But, just wanted to share a PSA today, public service announcement. But, so today I'm not able to do yoga, and I can't do yoga or do anything with my hands for the next day or two. They said maybe a week or so. So I had to stop doing yoga because I noticed every time I did like a position, I can't straighten out, what is it? I can't straighten out my middle finger. So that's my middle finger that's like crooked like this. And as you can see, it's swollen. So, yeah. This morning I kind of woke up to Josh saying he burnt some areas with a welding machine. He was talking to a guy and the guy went phew in his area and we had to go to the doctors for that. And the doctors told him he was fine, but I had staph. They're like, you know what, instead of charging y'all twice for 2 doctor's visits, we're just going to charge her since hers is more important than yours. It was funny because I just went in there saying, my hand hurts. And then Josh is like, I can't say it. Josh was like, my man parts are burnt. And I was the one in there with the bigger issue. So that's how we came to find out that I had staph, because they're like, oh, okay, we need to get that checked out, because as you can see, it was like, ta-da, red spot right there, bright as day. Yep, my hand. Yep. And they're like, okay, well, we'll just give you this, you know, topical prescription cream. You have to put it on twice a day, and if it doesn't get cleared up in like 3 to 5 days, then you need to come back. And I was like, okay, but they're like, honestly, it doesn't look that bad. We've seen staph infections that are worse. And yeah, you're supposed to wear rings as a hairdresser because your hands are constantly wet. Like service people shouldn't wear rings at work, even if you're a server, because you're constantly dealing with food, you're constantly washing your hands, and stuff just gets inside or behind the rings. So it's actually really disgusting to wear jewelry constantly. You know, you're supposed to clean it every now and then, or clean it the more you wear rings and jewelry and stuff, the more you're supposed to clean it. It's just like clothes, you know, stuff gets in their clothes and bacteria gets, you know, stays in there. It's also a really tight, dark space, and if it gets wet, it's more germs that goes into there. So it's actually really disgusting to wear jewelry a lot. So when you're wearing your wedding rings a lot, you have more staph behind your wedding ring than any other place on earth. But at work and at home, you really don't need to be wearing your wedding ring because you wear it so much, and it's actually really disgusting. Or at least clean it with rubbing alcohol or a disinfectant or something like that, because wedding rings are really nasty. And the stuff that the guy was telling me, because Josh was in another room and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, you probably should be wearing your ring that much. And they even asked me if he was wearing his ring or to welding, and as a welder he's not supposed to wear his ring because it gets hotter faster and it burns a hole and it can actually like chop his finger off. So even as a hairdresser, you're not supposed to wear rings because your rings collect a lot of germs, and a lot of germs get back there. And as a hairstylist, your hands get really soggy dealing with a lot of water, and then when your hands get soggy, you're more prone to cuts. That's a little lesson learned. Even as a hairdresser, you shouldn't wear your rings. I always wore it except for like when I did color, because like when you do color, it can stain the ring and stuff, and I didn't want to have to pay $35 a month to get my rings clean. But you know, my rings are pretty. I was thinking it would be this ring that would give me staph, but no, it was this tiny little bitty ring, my engagement ring, that was on this finger. And he said from doing scissors, if I'm right hand dominant, constantly moving this hand cutting is rubbing against this finger, which creates the cuts, which can create blisters, or it can rub against and like irritate the skin, and that's how it creates open sores and gets staph. So as you can see, it's perfect. Like all this because of this little bitty ring on this finger. So, and then I clean my rings. I put rubbing alcohol on them, and The doctor said I should be fine within 3 to 5 days, nothing big. But for all you hairstylists out there, don't wear your rings constantly, especially if you think about it, you're washing other people's hair and their dirty hair is, or their dirty germ hair or whatever is getting underneath your rings and getting in your skin. Like, that's disgusting. So think about it. Don't wear your rings too much. And especially if you have like a lot of updos and stuff, fine, that's okay. But it's like when you have a lot of washing clients, like you have to wash their hair out, unless you have a shampoo bowl girl that washes them out for you. But yeah, if you're washing your client's hair 24/7, don't wear a ring, because this is what you get. So I wanted to put that out there so nobody else got staph, and you know, you have to take like a week off, and if it's worse than that, you have to take several weeks off. So you don't want that to budge into your money. So let's just keep our hands dry, keep the rings off when we're doing a lot of washing and drying, and disinfect your rings a lot. So yeah, that's what I've learned, and it's kind of making me it's kind of making me thinking different about these. It's nasty. If anything, just wear a necklace with your rings on it, which that's what everybody tells me. But also, before I got this, a lot of people were making fun of me because I wasn't washing my hands with, like, I would take off my rings, set them down, then wash my hands, and then pick back up. People would make fun of me, like, is this the first time you're married? I'm like, well, yeah. And then they're like, well, you do know you can wash your hands with your rings on. No, not now. I think differently about that, and I knew in the back of my head, I knew better. And see, this is what you get for following everybody else's and peer pressure. So if anybody makes fun of you for not wearing your rings when you're washing them, tell them you don't feel like getting staph today, because that's what happens. Disgusting. And plus all that dirty germs goes behind, but I don't even want to think about it. When you're washing your hands, the germs finds places to stay, and tight, cold, dark places is where germs like to be. So take your rings off when you're washing your hands. So other than that, I'm gonna watch TV all day and take a few days off from work, which this is my work home. So I'm not allowed to wash dishes because more germs will get into it and infect it more. So husband has to wash the dishes. I think that's it. Yeah. So no more yoga, and I'm gonna go home Friday. So Friday will be another vlog day. This will go up today, and if anything, everybody just give me their give me a response on how yoga did for y'all. You know, I got videos that y'all can go see. I really want to see if I lost weight doing yoga for a week. But another thing, when they weighed me today, I weighed exactly 150. Like, I was kind of like, oh, dang it. As long as I have muscle weight and not fat weight. So that was good for the day. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Don't get staph, and don't wash your hands with the rings still on. So don't get staph. Stay healthy, my friends.